got through the list. I want to throw
Yeah.
one curveball at you,
Yeah,
Vince.
go for it. Let's we
College
got a
sports.
couple minutes. Yeah.
We got a couple minutes. So, college sports. You hear about Mike Bibby going to Sacramento State as their
Yeah.
basketball coach.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, general manager of Stanford.
Yeah.
I just saw Trey Young as the assistant GM for his college.
Really?
Um,
While still playing?
yeah, and that's what I'm getting at is
Okay.
we're doing this tournament thing every year. We do this March Madness. We fill out a thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Vince gets his ass
I,
kicked every year. Yep.
I, I, I essentially, and I think millions of people are in this boat. Is you get to the Sweet 16 and you pick the favorites, you pick the number one seeds, and you're looking pretty damn good. There hasn't been many upsets from like the Elite Eight.
Mhm.
Do you think how do you feel about this NIL stuff? Because now it just seems I want the players to get paid,
Right.
but now schools have their general managers. They're
Mhm.
getting these big name
Yeah.
coaches.
It's
Kids are
this
getting
is
paid.
there's a lot of unintended consequences
Yeah,
by this happening, right? And so there's a
yeah.
lot of stuff that they have to work out. And I think a salary cap of some kind may be necessary. I don't know how you would work that, how you would implement that. It would certainly spread the wealth out a little bit. It would suddenly, a school like Cal all of a sudden has a shot at getting a couple of noteworthy players. They're not,
If they
they're
spend
not
the money,
not
right?
everybody. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the other part, right?
I haven't
With a
heard
salary
about
cap, you'd have
Cal. I
to,
haven't heard Cal specifically
yeah,
wanting to pay players
no,
to get them into the
and
transfer portal.
I don't. Yeah, and I mean, they basically made the jump to the ACC for every sport except for football. Really, is what it came down to. Like they wanted to be able to still compete at the highest level for every other sport, and then in football, they're just going to take their lumps. I think is probably that's probably what the athletic director is thinking. And I mean, and you're going to run into some quality players here and there as well. I mean, Cal is, a world renowned institution. Same with Stanford, right? You're going to run into some high quality players here and there, but the teams themselves, they're not going to be like, perennial winners while they're in the ACC. And the schedule, I mean, we talked about it before the travel and all that stuff. So, and I just how much I hate all that for them. And I think if they were to institute a salary cap of some kind, it would be a way to almost they could almost return balance and like maybe revive the Pac-12 and get most of the schools back in the 12 where they belong. Um, or or some version of it, like the
We talked
idea of
about it a
having,
little bit with the
yeah,
Pac-12 going away.
yeah,
We talked a little bit about it is, you know, they completely shot themselves in their foot.
hmm,
They made this Pac-12 network that was available on nothing, and
hmm,
then you had to pay all this money to get its own streaming service
yep.
where you
And
should
then
have
they
just
they
get it on the air.
They
Just
they they then, there was the deal. They had a deal with Apple in place, and then they turned that down and said, "I think we can do better," and then they
no,
couldn't
you
do
couldn't.
better. That they
No,
they
you
didn't
couldn't.
do better. If they would have just taken the deal with Apple, the Pac-12 still exists as it
And you have
should.
NIL money. You
Yeah,
have the league is
mhm,
generating money. Your
yeah,
colleges are having money. You could, go
mhm,
out and get your general manager. Um, yeah, I just find it really interesting with this NIL stuff
yeah, yeah,
and general managers and assistant general managers.
I honestly don't know.
Trey Young's the
Yeah,
assistant general manager of the basketball team.
yeah, I don't like, it's tough to understand what to think about all that extra stuff. Like it's stuff that kind of almost has to happen, right? Because of this system that is in place. And there really should be a way to regulate, like, at least a little bit. Like, you know, the SEC and the Big Ten are basically running away with like all kinds of money because of the marquee schools, right? For football.
I guess
The
the
big
other
money
question I
makers.
have
Yeah.
is like, what is Andrew Luck doing? What is Trey Young doing?
Yeah.
Like, to actually be a general manager? Because obviously you're working transfer portals, but
Yeah.
it's recruiting. So
Yeah.
now you have this general manager, you're trying to get the most famous general manager
Mhm.
with popularity, and that's why Trey Young's the assistant is because he can't do it every single day. He's off being
Right.
an NBA player,
Right. Yeah.
but now it's becoming like, a popularity contest of just recruitment,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, breaking news, Snoop Dogg is your general manager at USC. No.
is he?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with
Oh
you.
my god, so I'm just but you
But
know what? That's coming. I
the
mean,
fact
that's the
that
thing.
like, that something like that is gonna happen,
It can
something
happen.
on that
So
level,
if you're
like, just something
Stanford, you know
wild.
what I'm
It's
doing?
we're not that far off. We're really
If I'm
not.
Stanford, Vince, if I'm Stanford, I'm calling, you got Andrew Luck, GM of the football team. I'm
Mhm.
calling Tiger Woods, he's the general manager of my golf team.
That's right.
You know,
Pulling
it's
in
just
all those alumni favors, right?
where
Like,
does
all those
it
emails that,
end?
like, I've ignored from Cal State East Bay, like, if I'm Stanford, I'm sending all of them out to anybody who ever has a degree with my name on it,
Dude,
yeah, totally.
so that's the, as you said, the unintentional, consequences of NIL.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of stuff to figure out because this is
It's
crazy.
still new. There's still a lot of legal questions too that have to be answered. Like, and who knows, depending on which judge you end up in front of, what the ruling is going to be, and is it going to be a ruling that only affects this one question, or is it going to be a nationwide thing that has to then get appealed to the next level? And so,
And I find it
I
for
think
for
we're probably 3 years away from having any, like, actual proper system in place to begin with,
oh, for sure.
and then at that point, is the system even good? Does the
Right.
system, does it work? And then you have
You're
to
talking
fix.
about something
Yeah,
for it for to track data
yeah,
and
this was
analyze something,
yeah,
you're talking 10 years,
yeah,
and
this
then
is very
another 10 years to see the modifications that so you're talking
mhm, yeah,
decades
this is
of
very ready, fire, aim is what this
right.
ended up being,
I find it I find it really interesting with, like, Sacramento because they went hard after, you know, other, uh, premier athletes to take over their football program, and they got Mike Bibby for the basketball program. You got smaller schools that are getting really aggressive, guys who are not alumni, right? Like,
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
they're just trying to get, opportunities to get coaches in there and this and that, so I'm really impressed with Sacramento and how aggressive they are. They thought they were gonna get, the football player, and he ended up going to, another school.
Oh, right. I
Um,
forgot it. Yeah,
shoot, I'm blanking on his name, but we talked about it like a month ago.
right. Yeah.
Um, Doolittle's doing his best to remember in the background, but he can't. So I don't know if his growls are making it on air, but my dogs are growling in the background. Um, but you got these smaller schools that are going after more coaches and trying to spend more because if they could get a coach to recruit, they're gonna have better odds to get a top athlete, which I find really interesting. So it popularity contest, man, is who could recruit and with the
Yeah.
NIL stuff, that Andrew Luck was once one of the most marketed football players. I'm sure he's greasing the wheels on the somewhere.
Mhm.
Oh, I know a guy that could get you
Yeah.
over. I know this person over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
if he
what's
doesn't
going to
know a guy,
happen
he
if
knows a guy who knows
if
a guy.
LeBron James signs with UCLA? He's going to be the GM of UCLA or USC because his son went there.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, is he gonna go to Davidson and be the general manager of Davidson when it's all said and done? Like,
Mhm.
it's crazy that these players are you're gonna see it. They're gonna become active general managers, assistant general manager. You're seeing it with Trey Young, and then what do they do in their post career?
Mhm.
It's a whole new world in college
Yep.
sports and
There's,
NIL, man.
there's hundreds of colleges, right? So you in theory have
Exactly.
hundreds of these jobs for football and basketball, and any other
I
sport,
was
right?
Vince, in
So,
closing, I know we're up against it. I was watching something about Ewers from University of Texas, the quarterback, Quinn Ewers,
okay.
that he had an offer to instead of going to the draft, he had an offer to go into the transfer portal. I forget what school. It might have been a Florida school was offering like millions
Mhm.
to enter the transfer portal and come to college here. We will give you millions.
Yeah.
And he took he went the he's going in the draft, but like that's what we're talking millions
Yeah.
for a
There's
quarterback or a player to transfer to another school. That player is getting paid multi-millions of dollars from the university, not even including the dealerships, the
Mhm.
grocery stores, the insurance companies that they sign on and get advertising doll and become a spokesman for.
Yeah.
Millions for a college student.
Mhm.
It's crazy, man.